Are you thinking about buying your first kiln? Before you do, let's make sure you're getting the right one for your needs. Buying a kiln is a big investment and you don't want one that's not going to work for you. The last thing you want to do is get one that's too small, needs power that you don't have, or costs way more money than you're trying to spend. But don't worry, Clay King has your back. In this video, we'll break down everything you need to know step by step so that you can confidently choose the right kiln for you. We'll cover kiln sizes, power requirements, space, ventilation, hidden costs, and just go over the biggest mistakes that first-time buyers make so that you don't have to. If you ever get stuck, our team of expert potters is just a phone call away. So if you're ready to find the perfect kiln, let's jump right into it. All right, let's talk about the number one mistake first-time kiln buyers make, and that's choosing the wrong size kiln. Kilns are an investment, and going with a smaller one might feel like a safer choice, but here's the problem. Most potters are going to outgrow their first kiln faster than they expect. So if you're just making small jewelry, test tiles, occasional pieces, something like the L&L plug-in fire might be perfect for what you need. It's compact, it runs on a standard household 120 volt plug. It's very beginner friendly. If you're making mugs, bowls, anything larger, you're going to run into limitations with these smaller size kilns. So that's when you might want to jump up to an 8-sided kiln. Small to medium option that can handle larger projects, and it's still home studio friendly. But if you're already producing work on a regular basis, if you plan on trying to be a full-time potter or have a studio, you might want to move past these smaller kilns and jump up to a 10 or a 12-sided kiln. Bigger kilns actually cost less per piece to fire, and more space means fewer firings, which means lower energy costs in the long run. So it's important to think ahead and try to imagine what your pottery practice is going to look like in a year or two. Buying a kiln that fits your future needs can save you from upgrading too soon. All right, let's talk about kiln power. Because the last thing you want to happen is to bring your dream kiln home and realize that you can't plug it in. So first and foremost, the voltage. Most homes have 120 volt outlets. It's what your lamp is plugged into, and that's what these smaller kilns will run off of. Once you start getting into the larger 8-sided kilns and up, you're most likely going to need 240 volt power. It gets a little tricky when you're in a large commercial building. They may run 208 volts instead of 240 volts, or there might be both. And it sounds close, but 208 volt isn't the same, and it's not compatible with 240 volt kilns. You'll probably run into firing problems if you try to run a 240 volt kiln on 208 volts, and it's gonna probably throw an error code, and your kiln's not gonna heat up right. Then we'll get into single phase versus 3-phase power. So most homes only have access to single phase. If you're in a large commercial space, they may run 3-phase. It's mostly designed for industrial equipment and large electrical motors, in which some kilns do offer a 3-phase wiring option, but you're going to want to find that out before you purchase the kiln because it has to match or it's not going to work. Another important thing is the amperage, because kilns use a lot of amps. Every breaker panel only has so many amps that it provides. Your kiln's going to take up a big chunk of those. The smaller kilns don't use as much, probably about 20 to 30 amps, which is just about a regular size breaker for most of your outlets. These mid-sized kilns are about 40 to 50 amp breakers, and then the 10 and 12 sided kilns are closer to 60 to 80, and some are even just direct wired into the panel and won't even use a plug. So you can open your panel and see if you have any available slots for a dedicated breaker. If your panel's maxed out, you may have to upgrade your panel or install a sub panel before buying your kiln. And if you're not sure about your power setup, you can take a photo and send it to a licensed electrician, or you can send it to one of our experts here at Clay King. We can guide you through it and make sure that you get the right kiln that works for your setup. All right, let's talk about where to put your kiln, because kiln placement is just as important as the kiln itself. Kilns get hot, they release fumes that you don't want to breathe in, and they need proper ventilation. So let's make sure that you set yours up properly. Every kiln is going to come with a metal kiln stand, and that stand needs to get placed on a non-combustible surface. So no carpet, no wood floors, no vinyl, nothing flammable, because even if you don't set the floor on fire, you can melt your floor, and you don't want to do that. If you're in a pinch, you could put down concrete backer board, you could put down bricks, cinder blocks, anything that is going to prevent the heat from getting to the floor. Clearance is also very important. Most kilns require 18 inches of space between any wall in the kiln, 9 inches of space off the floor. You never put a kiln directly on the floor, and 36 inches from any ceiling or overhead surface to prevent heat damage, because kilns get hot. So let's get into the ventilation. Small kilns may not require a vent. Sometimes just opening the window and having a fan on might be enough to get the small amount of fumes out of your room. For larger kilns, most of them are going to require a downdraft vent or an overhead vent. And these are going to pull the fumes either out from the bottom of the kiln or from the top. Downdraft vents are the way to go because they actually pull small amounts of fresh air into the kiln. They give you more even firings, and they put negative pressure in the kiln so that fumes don't leak out, where you can have that with overhead vents. Never put your kiln in a high traffic area. You don't want kids, pets, people, anything getting too close to them when they're firing, because they do get hot and you can burn yourself if you brush up against them. It's better to have a dedicated space for your kiln, such as in a corner that you don't go near, a garage, a kiln shed, just somewhere where it can be on its own. So double check your placement now and you'll save yourself a lot of trouble later. Here are 4 hidden costs when buying a kiln that no one talks about. So you found the perfect kiln and you're ready to buy it. Hold up just a second. There are always going to be hidden costs first-time kiln buyers don't see coming. So let's break them down so you can budget smart and avoid surprises. First is going to be kiln furniture. Most kilns don't come with kiln shelves and posts, and these are crucial for maximizing the stacking space in your kiln. So budgeting for a kiln furniture kit is a wise choice. These can run anywhere from $150 up to over $1,000 depending on the size of your kiln and how many shelves you want or need. Second is going to be electrical installation. Your kiln may require you to upgrade your electrical service. This could be as simple as having a receptacle installed, or you may need a whole new line ran. The further your kiln is away from the panel, the more wire it's going to take and the more it's going to cost. So this could be anywhere from $200 to multiple thousands of dollars. So it's always good to check your power before you buy the kiln, and it's wise to consult an electrician so that you can get sound advice. Third is going to be shipping and freight. Kilns are heavy, and while some kilns at Clay King will ship for free, depending on your location, some may require additional shipping fees. Most kilns that ship freight are going to show up on a 53-foot tractor trailer. They include a liftgate service, which means they will take the kilns out of the truck and put them on the ground, but they're not required to bring them up your driveway or into your home. So if you do need to hire help to get your kiln where it needs to go, that may be another cost to plan for. Finally is going to be kiln maintenance. Over time, you're going to need to replace the thermocouples in your kiln. You'll have to replace the elements at some point. And having these parts on hand ahead of time is helpful to avoid unexpected downtime, because nothing is worse than your kiln throwing an error code the night before your big event, and then you're out that whole load of pottery. The good news is that when you budget for these things up front, there are no surprises, just smooth firings and great pottery. To wrap everything up, here are 7 mistakes potters make when buying their first kiln. Let's make sure you don't fall into these traps. Mistake number 1 is buying too small. You'll outgrow your kiln faster than you think, so size up if you plan to fire often or make a lot of work. Mistake number 2 is not checking your power requirements. A 240 volt kiln won't work if you only have 120 volt outlets, so always check your breaker panel first. Mistake number 3, not inspecting your kiln immediately after delivery. Most kilns are packed securely, but there's only a short window of time to report damages. Mistake number 4 is skipping ventilation. Kilns release fumes, and a small kiln might be fine with a window, but large kilns might need a vent, especially if you're working and living where your kiln's firing. Mistake number 5 is forgetting kiln furniture. Shelves and posts are often not included with the kiln, and you'll need them to stack your work inside. Mistake number 6 is ignoring shipping details. Large kilns are curbside delivery only, and you need a plan to move it inside. Mistake number 7 is not asking for expert advice. One quick call to Clay King can save you hundreds of dollars and major headaches. Avoid these mistakes and your kiln journey will be smooth sailing. All right, now you have everything you need to buy your first kiln with confidence. You know what size you need, you know how to check your power, where to place it, and how to budget for hidden costs. No surprises, no regrets. But if you're still unsure, we are here to help. The team at Clay King is made up of real potters who know kilns inside and out. Give us a call and we'll walk you through shopping for the right kiln for your needs. Ready to shop? Head to clayking.com to check out our full selection of kilns, furniture kits, vent systems, and expert guides. Thanks for watching and happy firing.